A Night in Someone Else's Room by Zoe Blessing. Chapter 1. It's my first week living in the college dorm, and my roommate has practically made herself at home on my nerves. I know, right? Brenda shouts into her phone. Well, she's not really shouting. I've heard her shout, and it's enough to rattle my eardrums. She just has no indoor voice. I mean, he's being such a dweeb. Confrontation makes me twitchy, so I grit my teeth and try to concentrate on my geology textbook. Brenda bursts into peals of laughter like she's got Ellen DeGeneres on the line, as if Ellen would ever want to talk to her, and I slam my book shut. I glare at her, but she doesn't even notice how much she's bothering me, just like all the other nights. I take a deep breath. Astrid often told me I can't expect people to read my mind, that I have to speak up. This is easy for my sister to say because she's gutsy. I take another deep breath, steadying my skittish nerves. Brenda, could you please keep it down? I'm trying to study. She raises her eyebrows at me like she's finally noticed I'm in the room. Classes have barely started, Elsa. Lighten up. Lighten up? She wants me to lighten up? Oh, it's just my roommate. Brenda has already returned to her phone conversation, effectively dismissing me and my request. So tell me more about that cute guy in econ. My lip curls and I decide I really don't want to be around her anymore, so I shove my books and pens into my backpack and storm out. The dorm's lobby is thankfully empty, so I settle into one of the couches in the corner and crack open the textbook again. Textbooks are soothing. Astrid thinks I'm weird for thinking this, but textbooks are predictable and reliable, full of knowledge just waiting there for someone to appreciate. Plus, they don't snicker when your tongue sticks on spoken words. I've just finished reading about igneous rock when two guys and a girl show up. One guy is heavy-set and wears his blonde hair in a ponytail, and the dark-haired guy is skinny with a striped polo shirt on. The girl's long black hair has a bright red streak down one side, and her skin is a beautiful golden color. They circle around the lobby's only coffee table and settle in the chairs around it, softly plunking a pink pastry box onto the table. That's from Serenity Bakery, right? The girl asks, eyeing the box. Nah, it's just day-old donuts from... The girl scoffs noisily. Come on, I keep telling you about Serenity, and you keep ignoring me. The blind guy shrugs. I forgot. I return to reading. The loud slap of a book hitting the coffee table causes me to flinch, and I glance up in time to see the skinny guy toss another book on top of it. Dude, Carlos, the girl hisses at him, some people are trying to study. She glances at me and gives me an apologetic smile. I smile back, touched by her thoughtfulness. Plus, she's cute. Carlos looks over at me and his eyebrows quirk up like he's just discovered a Taco Bell within walking distance. Sorry about that. The other guy looks at me too, but his eyes are a bit glassy, and I wonder if maybe he needs a nap. Or an entire pan of brownies. I give them both a curt smile before pulling my feet up onto the couch and propping the book against my thighs to serve as a barrier. No distractions. My sister is counting on me to keep my scholarship. Heck, I'm counting on me to keep it. Astrid would kick my ass if I lost it. I furrow my brow and tell myself that gabbro, paradites, and granite are fascinating. Chapter 2. It's soon obvious, however, that the three people in front of me aren't here to study. They're throwing phrases around like half-orc and hit points as they munch on donuts. I peek over my knees and find the table littered with paper, tiny figurines, and strange-looking dice. I only recognize them as dice because a friend of mine in high school had them. The girl notices me watching and I duck back behind the book. Igneous rocks, I remind myself. What are the two types of igneous rocks? You just read this, Elsa. I squeeze my eyes shut, trying to grasp the words that are floating just out of reach. Someone's phone starts crooning a Michael Bublé song, and I peek out again. Dude, that is so gay, Kayla, Carlos teases. She punches his arm with enough force to topple him sideways. Ow, he rubs his arm. That's gonna bruise. Good. She glares at him one last time before answering her phone. After a brief conversation, she puts her phone away. Dave's not coming. What? The big ponytail guy deflates. But I made this campaign for 3 people. Then adjust it so it'll just be me and Kayla. Carlos's voice has a definite duh inflection to it. No, you never take dungeon mastering seriously, Ponytail practically whines. It takes careful planning. Carlos rolls his eyes and they land on me. Hey, girl, wanna play? Kayla socks him in the arm again. Ouch, dang it, what now? He rubs his arm again and scoots away from her. You don't go around shouting girl to get someone's attention, Kayla explains. It's rude. It's like when you say, listen to me, woman. Well, I don't know her name now, do I? He lifts a challenging eyebrow. Let me show you how it's done. Kayla stands and I take cover behind my book again, stupidly pretending I didn't just follow their entire conversation. Her shadow looms over me and I look up. Her eyes are dark and somehow beckoning me, even though she's just standing there. Sorry to bother you, she says, giving me that gleaming smile again, but we're one person short. Would you like to play with us? I stare at her wide-eyed, but you don't know me. I wince at the stutter and tell myself to breathe. She shrugs. We're always on the lookout for potential players. You're studying on a Friday night, so chances are good you're nerdy. Like us. I peer around her at the two guys. Carlos waggles his eyebrows while grinning at me, and Ponytail gives me the same blank stare as before. They're harmless, Kayla says, diverting my attention away from them. They just need to work on their social skills. Igneous rocks, my textbook beckons. Curiosity wins out, though, and I take a steadying breath before speaking. What are you guys playing? You've heard of Dungeons and Dragons? Kayla asks. I nod. It's sort of like that. Only my version is tons better, Ponytail calls out. Kayla rolls her eyes. We're just starting a new campaign. We're happy to teach you if you're interested. My first instinct is to say no thanks and run off to the library, but Astrid's voice echoes in my head. Study hard, but make some friends too. You're not a fucking nun. I guess I'm silent for too long because she says, tell you what, give us 20 minutes. If you hate it, then you walk away and we won't bug you again. Deal? Her eyebrows arch up and she's got such an expectant look on her face I find myself not wanting to disappoint her. Okay. All right. Carlos pumps his fist. Pacquiao recruits another one. Kayla returns to her seat and socks Carlos's arm again. Ow, dude, you're gonna mess up my arm. Then stop being an ass. Pacquiao is Filipino. There are Japanese boxing champions too. Name one, he challenges. She lifts her chin. Naoya Inoue won 12 titles. You could be making that up for all I know. Kayla raises her fist again and Carlos throws his hands into the air. Dude, truce! I don't want a purple arm. I close my textbook and stand. Carlos immediately drags a chair between him and Ponytail. Over here, Blondie. Kayla slaps his arm. Come on, I didn't call her girl. My name is Elsa, I say, and reluctantly sit next to him. Cool, he bobs his head. Like from Frozen, right? My little sisters love that movie. I sigh. It's like the name can't possibly exist outside of a cartoon. Elsa's a Swedish name. My family emigrated from there before I was born. Cool. I bet all the girls in Sweden are beautiful like you. Carlos winks at me, and I'm not sure whether to be flattered or flustered. He isn't exactly my type. Roll your tongue back into your head, Carlos, Kayla snaps. We don't want to hear your pickup lines. I glance at her, wondering if she's jealous that Carlos is paying attention to me instead of her. My stomach sinks a little at the thought that she might dislike me because of this, and also because I was kind of thinking she might be my type. Ponytail gives me a hazy smile. Maybe now they'll stop calling me blonde ambition, whatever that means. Hello, Madonna? When Kayla receives a blank look from him, she goes on. Her blonde ambition world tour? You keep saying how your game is going to take over the world. Ponytail shrugs. She sighs. Never mind, let's just play. Ponytail grins and nudges the pink box toward me. I peer at the sticky mess inside and decline with a shake of my head. I don't blame you, Kayla says, curling a lip at the box. They look so sad. I'm gonna be sad if we don't get started, Ponytail whines. Kayla inclines her head with deference and lets him explain the game to me. Chapter 3. 2 hours later, I learn that Ponytail is actually named Garth, and he usually gets a bit stoned before a game session. He claims it so he can put up with Carlos. I also learn that, despite their vast differences and all the "you're an asshole" remarks, they are all good friends. Throughout the night, Carlos has been winking and smiling at me, making it obvious that he's interested in me. I definitely don't want to lead him on, but I have no idea how to tell him I like girls. It's not something one usually announces to new acquaintances. Kayla, on the other hand, became quieter. She isn't the same charming arm slapper she was earlier. This only confirms my suspicion that she likes Carlos and resents me for somehow getting in the way, even though I'm seated between the two guys. Still, I can't help noticing how she goes out of her way to help me with the game, and I'm fascinated by her deft fingers with nails painted the same bright red as the streak in her hair. I hate to admit it, but I'm attracted to this girl. I hate to admit it because I'm pretty sure she's into Carlos. She touches him more times than I can count, and even though they're all wax on his arm, I still find that frequent invasion of personal space rather intimate. At one point, he retaliated by tickling her ribs, whereupon she giggled like a flirty schoolgirl. That pretty much sealed my evaluation of the whole thing. Too bad. Kayla would have been such an adorable dyke. It's not till Carlos yawns that I discover I'm sleepy too. "You're a lightweight," Kayla tells him. "Dude, these good looks come at a price." "Whatever." Her voice sounds dismissive, but her smile says she enjoyed the night as much as I did. "Thanks for letting me play," I say, once all their paraphernalia has been packed up. "Thanks for giving us a shot," says Carlos, sincere for a change. "I like your style." The smile he gives me reminds me of my sister's when she's trying to charm a pretty girl. "Think you'll join us next week?" I fight back the ridiculous grin at the thought I might have actually made friends. "You guys wouldn't mind?" "Mind?" Carlos makes a scoffing noise. "You're a heck of a lot prettier than Dave." A nervous laugh escapes my throat and I feel my face heat up. After a short pause, Carlos inhales a breath like he's gathering courage. "You know, I could give you some extra lessons on how to play, like over dinner tomorrow." This catches me off guard and my eyes dart to Kayla. A tiny furrow appears between her brows. Oh no, the girl I like hates me now because the guy she likes just asked me out. My ability to speak devolves. I clamp my mouth shut, mortified. This is exactly why I didn't want to move away from home. "You're hitting on girls in front of me? Ugh." Kayla shoves Carlos. "Go to your room." Kayla picks up her bag and faces me. "I'm glad you joined us. I had a lot of fun. See you around?" I pick up my bag too. "Yeah, I had fun too," I say, feeling a little more at ease. "See you around." As I walk away, Carlos calls out, "Is that a no then?" Not trusting my mouth, I vaguely wave at him in reply and keep on walking. Chapter 4. When I get back to my room, the loud voices have multiplied. 2 of Brenda's friends are sitting on her bed, arguing with her over which actor is hotter. Brenda brandishes a gossip magazine as evidence and barely acknowledges me with a "hey" as I walk in. "Hey, are you guys going to sleep yet?" I ask them. "I'm kind of tired." "Sleep? Now? It's Friday night," one of her friends says cheerfully. Okay, so that would be a no. Not wanting to be a wet blanket by insisting they leave, I quietly gather my pajamas and head to the communal bathroom down the hall to change and brush my teeth. Maybe they'll get the hint and leave when they see me ready for bed? They don't. I sit on my bed a minute, wondering what I'm supposed to do next. Their continued giggling grates on my nerves, and I just want to get out of there. I grab the light blanket folded at the foot of my bed, wrap it around my shoulders, and stalk back to the lobby with my pillow and geology textbook in hand. When I get there, I find Kayla on her hands and knees, peering under the couch. I can't help noticing she's got a nice butt, and I want to touch the exposed skin of her lower back where her shirt has ridden up. "Oh hey," she says when she notices me. "Just trying to figure out where I left my phone." She crawls to the neighboring love seat and searches under it. I continue admiring her rounded backside. Astrid always said a nice, full ass is easier to grab and makes for a sexy makeout session. Not exactly the most sisterly advice, but there it is. Sometimes I wish I could be bold like her. Aha, here it is. She sits back on her haunches, and I jerk my eyes back to her face, hoping she didn't catch me checking out her butt. Glad you found it, I say, and clamp my lips together, trying not to wince at the stutter. I haven't had so many slip-ups in one day since that awful speech I had to give in class 2 years ago. I take a slow, deep breath through my nose, just like the speech therapist taught me. Yoga breathing distracts your body from its own twitchiness, she'd instructed. Kayla's gaze flicks down to my pajama pants, which are peppered with green alien heads. Cute pants. I look down at them, expecting to feel embarrassed, but I don't. Thanks. The aliens actually glow in the dark. Her smile widens. That's so cool. You should show me sometime. My heart races a little at the thought of being in a dark room with Kayla, and I silently tell it to stop being silly. Kayla would probably prefer being in the dark with Carlos. She glances at the pillow under my arm. In for the long haul? I sigh. Yeah, my roommate has friends over, and they aren't exactly quiet people. Maybe I'll just spend the night on the couch. She gives me a sympathetic pout. That sucks. Then she brightens. Hey, come to my room. My brain stumbles over itself as it brings back thoughts of being in a dark room with Kayla. Huh? Is all I can manage in response. My roommate went home for the weekend. You can spend the night there if you want. Oh, I say with astounding eloquence. Don't ever date straight girls. Astrid's advice echoes in my head. If you ever find yourself attracted to one, find a different friend. You don't need that kind of drama. I try to come up with valid excuses why I shouldn't follow Kayla to her room, but I can't think of a single one. Come on, it'll be fun, she says. You can tell me all about geology. Her grin indicates she's teasing me, but her eyes tell me the invitation is sincere. I steel myself against her warm, beckoning eyes. I'll be okay here, don't worry about me. I toss my pillow onto the couch for emphasis. She responds by plucking my pillow off the couch. Nope, you're coming with me. I stare after her as she marches away with my pillow, and I have little choice but to follow. Chapter 5. Her room is set up just like mine, with a twin bed on the left and right sides of the room. She tosses my pillow onto a bed and spreads her arms wide. Welcome to my mansion. Her bulletin board has a course schedule pinned to it, surrounded by sketches of some Japanese spiky-haired cartoon character I don't recognize. You like anime? She asks. Not really. Oh, okay. She seems disappointed, and I wonder if maybe I should have fibbed a little. I quickly move on to the giant poster of the singer Pink taped to her wall. She's nude, and it says, I'd rather go naked than wear fur. Her, assets are tastefully obscured, but it's still hot. Cool poster, I say. I know, right? I love Pink. She's so badass, and her music is so honest, don't you think? I nod in agreement, even though I've never really thought about it. I'm frantically trying to think of something to contribute when she says, you know, you kind of look like her. Me? I get a hold of my flopping tongue and stomach and try not to blush. No, I don't think so. Well, your hair's a bit longer, but around the face. Yeah, I can see it. I squirm under her scrutiny. If anything, Astrid is usually the one compared to the edgy rocker. My sister is fearless. Kayla decides to change the subject and asks, did you want to keep studying? You can use my desk if you want. Not really, I just brought this because I look at my textbook. Actually, I don't know why I brought it. It's your armor. My armor? I parrot. I think maybe you wield textbooks in unfamiliar situations because they're familiar and can double as a physical barrier. There's no teasing or judgment in her dark eyes when she says this. In fact, it almost sounds clinical. My mouth opens and shuts. This girl is continually saying unexpected things, and I don't trust myself not to stutter in response. How is this girl so insightful? I noticed it earlier, she somehow responds to my unspoken question. You were hiding behind your book. It was kind of cute. As if to prove her point, I unconsciously grip the textbook harder. Sorry, she says, looking down at her feet. My friends say I'm a little too honest sometimes. It's fine. I force myself to set the book down on her desk and smile. See? No armor. She grins. Are you tired? I'm totally beat. You look great for being beat. The words fly out of my mouth before I realize it. Did I really say that aloud? A flush creeps up my face. Her grin softens into a warm smile. Thanks. I'll be right back. She grabs a small caddy containing toothpaste and other toiletries and heads out to the bathroom. Not knowing what to do with myself, I start examining the books on her desk. Biology, history of psychology, research methods, and statistics. I paused. Is she a psychology major? I start pacing the room, twisting my blanket in my hands. Is she going to be analyzing me all night? The thought of my neurotic inner self being laid bare makes my armpits tingle with sweat. Maybe I should leave. I gather up my pillow and book and head for the door. My hand is on the door handle when it wrenches right out of my grip. Oh, Kayla blinks at me in surprise. Were you leaving? I feel stupid and rude. I was just going to disappear without saying goodbye. Her mouth pulls to the side. It's the floor, isn't it? Not exactly cushy. I get it. Her face brightens as an idea hits her. Use my roommate's bed. Just sleep on top. You already brought your own blanket. Unable to argue with her logic or her adorably animated face, I step away from the door. She bustles in, sets her toiletry caddy on her desk, and moves a pile of clothes off her roommate's bed. There, all set. I set my things onto the bed and perch next to them. Cool, she says, satisfied by the arrangement. Lights out? Sure. She flicks the switch, and the room goes dark. Chapter 6. My heart increases tempo as I start imagining the things I could do in the dark with Kayla. Cool, those alien heads really do glow in the dark, she says. I look down at my pants and their black bug eyes stare back at me. Yeah, they do. I wonder if they make glow-in-the-dark Godzilla pants, she muses. That would be cool, I'd buy them. Right, she agrees and then roars like a monster. I giggle. I can't remember the last time I giggled. I hear her kick off her shoes and pad over to her bed. The soft rustle of clothing being removed adds to my in-the-dark fantasy, and I sit perfectly still, peering into the dark. Thin slivers of light escape through the vertical blinds, and I catch traces of bare skin. She pauses, and I look away, even though she can't see what I'm doing. I think, oh no, can she see me staring like a peeping Tom? Hey, Elsa? Yeah? Do I make you uncomfortable? People make me uncomfortable. I'm a social idiot. I skirt the question. Why do you ask? Because you haven't moved since you sat down. Crap, she saw me looking. She thinks I'm a pervert, a deviant who stares at undressing girls in dorm rooms. She's gonna tell everyone, and there go my new friends. I only noticed because that bed is squeaky, she continues. And I haven't heard anything since you sat down. Did you need something? You can just ask, you know. I exhale with relief and my spine goes limp. She hadn't seen me staring after all. Do you like girls? I want to ask. Do you like me? No, I'm fine, I say instead. To further prove that I am, indeed, a normal person, I push the roommate's pillow aside and set my own pillow in its place. The bed squeaks with my shifting weight and Kayla resumes undressing. After laying my head on the pillow, I listen in again, just in time to hear the unclasping of a bra. My breath catches, and I squeeze my eyes shut against imaginary images of a naked Kayla. Straight girls will only break your heart, Astrid reminds me from afar. Trust me on this one. My dear big sister, I kind of miss her and her blunt advice. So, Elsa, seems like Carlos has a thing for you, Kayla says once she's in her PJs and settled into bed. I blink into the darkness, unprepared for this conversation. I snap my mouth shut, breathe in through my nose. You think so? Oh my God, it was so obvious. Was that a note of jealousy in her voice? I want to make her feel better, to tell her that Carlos is all hers. Look, Kayla. And I get it, she says, not letting me finish. I mean, look at you. What's not to like? My eyebrows twitch. She definitely sounds jealous to me. Kayla, I'm not... She interrupts again. Ever since I've known him, he's had a thing for blue-eyed blondes. But he's a good guy. I think you'd be great together. Great together, me and Carlos? I shake my head, even though she can't see me. He's good-looking, right? I mean, just ask him. She chuckles to herself. I wonder if there's a movie about an arrogant prick with a heart of gold. I like you, I blurt, wanting her to stop blathering about Carlos. She falls silent. Chapter 7. My hand flies to my mouth. Shit, now she'll think I'm a deviant. Seconds pass like slow-rolling thunder. You do? She says with a hint of surprise. It's too late to take the words back, so I try to make the situation less awkward. I don't like Carlos. I mean, he seems nice, but I don't like him, that way. She doesn't reply, so I blabber on. So, you don't have to worry. If he asks me out again, I'm turning him down. Again. He's all yours. Mine, she echoes. Yeah, he'd be stupid not to ask you out. The ensuing silence makes me want to rush out of the room. Why'd you turn him down? She finally asks. Not my type. And what is your type? She wonders aloud. Wasn't it obvious? I'd already blurted that I liked her. Did she forget, or was she hoping I liked her as a friend? I glance at the dark rectangle of the pink poster barely visible on her wall. How do I tell her I like girls? Would she banish me from her room? You said you liked me, she prompts. Wow, this girl is direct. I'm running out of bushes to beat around. My heart tries to slam its way out of my chest. Can she hear it? Elsa? Yeah, I like you. You're cool. I try to play it off, trying to sound as nonchalant as possible. Just a buddy. That's me. I am definitely not an overwrought lesbian who wants to make out with you. Oh. Wait, was that disappointment I heard in her voice? I hold my breath, wondering what happens next. You realize I don't like Carlos that way either, right? She informs me. You don't? I roll onto my side to look at her in the dark, causing the bed to squeak. What about all the giggling and tickling and poking? I silently wonder. He's like the annoying little brother I never wanted. This makes me laugh and I relax a little. You want to know what my type is? She asks. Yes. No, I'd rather not know she likes beefy football players or professors in bow ties or any member of the Rolling Stones. Ew. She seems to be waiting for my answer. Sure, I respond. I mean, who wouldn't want to know? There's a pause, like she's debating something with herself, like she's nervous or something. But what did she have to be nervous about? She was confident, kind, beautiful, funny. You're my type, she blurts. I nearly choke on my own saliva. What? She takes a tremulous breath, as if telling herself, you've gone this far, might as well keep going. There's a reason pink is on my wall with no clothes on. All the guitar posters were out of stock? She chuckles. I dig her look, and her love yourself as you are messages are awesome, but it would never work between us. She pauses, and I sense that it's my cue to say something to indicate I'm not freaking out. Between you and Pink? Why not? Because she's outspoken and headstrong, and we would argue all the time. Plus, she's married with kids. I say, because I have no idea what else to say. My lack of freakout seems to give her courage. You, on the other hand, I clutch anxiously at the comforter I'm lying on, are shy and funny and considerate, with great taste in pajamas. You're so many cute things wrapped up in one adorable package that I just want to squeeze you. Squeeze me? I repeat dumbly. Actually, no. No? I really need to learn some conversation skills. I kind of want to kiss you. My mouth goes dry, my mind whirls, unable to decide if I should be dancing with joy or peeing my pants. Did I just freak you out? Her voice sounds apprehensive. No. Well, yes. Sort of. But in a good way? My voice ends on a squeak and I cringe at how ridiculous I sound. Am I even making sense? Don't worry, I'm not going to kiss you. My stomach sinks with disappointment. Ever? She chuckles. Not tonight anyway. I want to jump on the bed and pump my fist in the air. I want to play air guitar. I want to grab Kayla by her hands and swing her around the room. A hot girl wants to kiss me. I clear my throat, hoping I don't sound like the manic virgin I am on the inside. Okay? I can hear the grin in her voice when she says, maybe tomorrow. I roll onto my back, hands folded behind my head, and grin big into the darkness. Thank you for listening to A Night in Someone Else's Room by Zoe Blessing. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you can discover more.